Yeah, I want to thank Benny for allowing us to use this facility tonight. If you can't hear, maybe scoot up. Can y'all hear in the back? Maybe might try to scoot up a little bit. I'll try to talk loud. Everybody's crowd in a little bit.
Not too close.
Yeah, not too close. My name is Jerry Hancock. For those that don't know me, I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd and some friends out here, a lot of people I've fished with over the years, and good to see them and look forward to meeting the rest of you. I've been a guide for roughly 10 years this time. I've been guiding, advertising that I'm guiding. I started back in high school guiding some people on Levon in the summertime. We were kids, so I've been fishing Levon for all my life, since I would walk really. So seriously fishing crappie for about 20 years. In the last 10 years I've really gotten to where it's about all I do. I used to do some catfishing and I've about given that up. Fished tournaments all over the country. I was lucky enough to fish with one of the best crappie fishermen I think in the country, Paul O'Beer. If those of you that are around tournaments or anything's heard of him, some of you probably fished with him. He guides at Ray Roberts. I think Paul's one of the best fishermen in the country, and we traveled and fished a lot of tournaments together and had a lot of fun. I learned a lot from Paul, and those tournaments have given me the confidence to stand up here and talk about stuff, because I've seen the way we fish work all over the country. And how I fish, I'm not going to say is the best way. I'm not going to tell you that. But I'm going to stand up here and tell you how I do it, what my philosophy is, or how I approach fishing, and what's kind of in my mind before I go fishing. I have the confidence that I can take one of those two colors to any lake in the world and catch a fish. And that means more than anything else, is that confidence part. 1/8 ounce, I use an 1/8 ounce jig head, number 2 hook, like a little bigger hook. I've been using the sickle hooks. There's some big advantages to the sickle hook, I think, and there's some disadvantages to a sickle hook. The advantage is they are very sharp, and the disadvantage is they are very sharp. If you touch something, they're hung up.
Yeah.
Now they will straighten, they will bend, but they will break after a while. They're brittle because of how sharp they are, the way they're made. It's brittle metal, but the hookup rate is great with them, and they are sharp. But you have to, if you're fishing like in the springtime, when I was fishing a lot of weeds, I couldn't use them. Customers especially couldn't use them. They stayed hung up all the time. So I went back to a cheap Walmart jig, and it worked out a lot better as far as not being hung up as much. So, but that would be my choice of a jig head, would be another 1/8 ounce sickle hook with a number 2 hook. Very seldom, if I'm shooting docks, which isn't very often, I go to a 1/16 ounce. I have used 1/4 ounce every now and then. In the springtime, if I'm trolling jigs, I'll use a 1/4 ounce on the bottom and an 1/8 ounce on top if I'm running 2 jigs. But I do not fish 1/4 ounce for any other reason. Not to get it down there quicker, not fishing in 20-foot water. I still use an 1/8 ounce. I do not want it falling like a rock down there. I want it falling slow down to it. And if you can't wait an extra couple seconds to get it down there, you're in too big a hurry, because you'll catch a lot more fish if you will using a little slower falling And the 10-pound line, 1/8 ounce head, to me for me it's a perfect setup. Nothing fancy, you know, nothing fancy. This is what I have. This is all I use. That's all I do. I don't try a lot of other fancy things. Don't go do anything else. I'm more concerned about location and the presentation than anything else. Other than that, on equipment, 10-foot for trolling, and in the springtime I'll use a 10-foot pro angler. I use the same reel, 10-pound line, same setup, just a little longer rod. That's the only 2 length rods I use, unless we're shooting docks. And like I said, well, I don't do that very often, unless I have to. So, equipment's simple. I learned from a guy, we used to cook chili cook-offs, and this guy had cooked all over the world and won all these cook-offs. And I asked him one time, what is your secret?
You speak up a little bit, it's hard to hear you back here.
I asked him what your secret was to your recipe. You know what? Why? He said, being able to duplicate it. He said, find something, perfect it, and then start taking everything that doesn't work out and throw it away. And just get rid of those ingredients that aren't really making any difference. And so you can duplicate it every time. And that's what I want to be able to do fishing. I want to keep it simple. I don't want to have to worry about a lot of things. I want to be able to concentrate on that next bite, and I'm not want to worry about my equipment. I don't want to worry about my boat. I don't want to worry about any of that stuff. I want to worry about the next bite. So,
Monofilament, not fluorocarbon?
I use strand. I mean, there's nothing. If you want to try, I've tried braid. I do not like braided line. I like the way it feels, but I fish with the line in my hand and it cuts me. And I want to be able to break off if I need to. I don't like braid. I don't like I use the clear blue fluorescent, which I can see. Next I want to talk about the approach, what I was talking about, kind of the approach to fishing. I do a lot of it before I ever go to the lake. The first thing is that I look before I'm going fishing is the weather. The wind mainly. What's the wind doing? The wind determines everything. Determines where I can fish, mainly where I can fish. Where am I going to unload my boat? If it's blowing out of the north, I don't want to unload at Clear Lake Park and sink it. I'm gonna have to, and it's going to determine where on the lake I'm fishing, determine the time of the year, the depth of water. In the summertime, I'm fishing 15 to 23 foot water. Well, that narrows the lake down. Fishing structure in that depth. Well, if it's blowing 25 out of the southeast, I don't think there's a tree on Lavon, a standing tree that's deep enough to fish with the wind blowing that hard. So all my standing timber's out. I'm done. I can't fish it. So that leaves me with submerged timber and brush piles. Well, I have to know on the lake and the depth of water I'm fishing with this type of wind, where can I fish? That's why I've got stuff all over the lake. If you go all the way around the lake, no matter what direction the wind's blowing, I've got structure to fish in the depth of water, brush piles and deep timber, submerged timber, for that time of year.